Hey, welcome to the 181st episode of Sawdustnationpodcast with your host, Nat from Nap Snyderworks LLC and Josh from North Country Woodworking. You see him doing some weird things over there, but really he's putting a live up to make sure all patrons know what's going on right this second. So if you were a part of the live earlier, you knew that Scott from Redleg Customs, he won the Workbench Con ticket sponsored by PWNCNC. But because all of you have been such awesome listeners, awesome patrons, and just awesome supporters in general, we decided we're going to give another one away. But here's the caveat. Because we do have international listeners, we want to make sure that everyone gets a little bit of love, right? Because you're a part of this. You're a part of our family. You've been here from whenever episode you joined to now. And we decided that if you win the Workbench Con ticket and you can go, you will get the Workbench Con ticket. But let's say you're an international listener, such as maybe from Australia. I don't know. Somewhere out there, right? And it might be a little difficult to make it to Workbench Con because it's a big lift. We are going to offer the option. And even if you're in the continental US or Alaska or Hawaii, wherever you're listening from, if you're in there and you say, hey, I can't make the Workbench Con, but I still won, what could I get? We're going to offer a $500 gift card to your place of choosing, whether it be Rockler, Woodcraft, hell, even Home Depot or Lowe's. Like, I don't care. You tell me or tell us where you like your gift card to. Has to be maker related, right? It can't give you an Olive Garden or a Texas
Victoria's
steak
Secret or
yeah, like none of that. All right, it has to be maker related. Okay, we will give you a $500 gift card. And even if you could have made the Workbench Con and you just want the $500 gift card, guess what? We're going to do that. And from here on out on this podcast, if that is the case, we're going to do that. Now, if it's just like a normal giveaway, like a Capro square, some chisels, or some merchandise of some sort from another company, we're going to pay the international shipping and we'll ship it to you. But for big giveaways like this that require a little extra, like lodging, flights, and all those things, we're going to go ahead and offer the gift card. Obviously, $500 versus what the Workbench Con ticket, it's about 100 some change shorter, but I ain't going to lie. Okay, a gift card for an odd amount just looks weird. So $500 is what we settled at. Hopefully that's great for you guys. I think that's awesome. Josh, what you got, man?
So, to be honest, we want to make sure you guys are trying to go to Workbench Con. We want to see your faces. That's just the honest truth. We also want to give you the choice, and that was the way we came up with this entire thing. So that is the story and what we're sticking to. Just let us know what you would like once you do win. We have people still rolling in, so we're gonna actually just continue on with the episode as normal. And no, what are you shaking here for?
Jason, no Victoria's Secret. No videos in the shop wearing Victoria's Secret. That cannot happen, my friend. Listen, I know the Grinch is coming to town, and he wears some very questionable things. We're not doing that. Okay.
I'm sure we're getting out to do it. Who are we kidding?
Why me?
Why was that your question and not hell no?
But listen, I've done some crazier stuff as a maintainer in the aircraft mechanic world, and I'm sure Josh has as well. We've all done some fairly questionable things. I mean, maintainers be maintainers. All right. Todd goes as long as his pink Jason.
That is a lot. That's a long story.
All right. Anyways, because y'all are patrons, we want to give you all the option, though. And like Josh said, we love to see you at Workbench Con, but if you can't make it, you can't make it. You're still going to win something awesome. Just because, well, that's what we want. We want to make sure that everyone has a chance. Because I ain't going to lie, I very much appreciate our international listeners, and especially, and I'm going to call him out, Todd. He joins us for, I'm going to say, a majority of our podcast episodes when we record. And it's like, he's in Australia. Like, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking down names in this picker wheel here. We're going to do the normal talk, right? I know Josh had some craziness. He said sometimes you can't keep the house safe. I'm a little concerned. So we're going to hear from Josh. And then while I'm doing that, I'll get the picker wheel going and whatnot. We'll probably do about halfway through the episode.
Bear with me.
And then,
I got to toss my wall up to my wife real quick.
Oh, he's got to toss the wallet. Okay. So while he's tossing the wallet, there he goes. And there's the throw. And, oh my God, it's a touchdown! Josh's family! So he went ahead and threw that wallet up there. And, what a throw it was. Todd is bored at work. Hey, listen. I mean, if I was bored at work, I'd listen to Sawdustation podcast too. Actually, I do. I listen to Sawdustation podcast to hear my stupid voice while I'm working on award packages. So, while Josh talks about his shop and what's going on and how he probably almost set his house on fire, I actually don't know what happened. So I'm actually pretty curious.
You're not
I'm going to go get this picker wheel. Oh, God, that's not good. Oh, but anyways, Josh, go ahead and give us your story, your shop talk, and I'm going to go ahead and start getting this spinner wheel ready. Just real quick, all patrons know you get 2 entries just as normal because you are patrons. There is no extra for answering the questions. That was a whole separate thing. So here I go, going away for a minute.
Okay, so give me 1 second.
1. Hey, man, it's like 5. 1.
You're so like my oldest.
Nap being a narcissist.
Anyway, sorry about that. There's a lot going on tonight. Anyway, so my week has been something else. I joined safety knowing full well once you join a career like this, things will happen to you because you're just part of that. And I did not start the house on fire. So let's put that out there. But what was it? Saturday night. I'm putting the kids to bed and reading the book. It was little old lady who swallowed a fly. And I'm reading the book, and all of a sudden, all of the fire alarms go off. And, well, the first thing in my mind is like, okay, let's locate this fire. So the wife goes in with the kids. I start running around the house like a madman looking for a fire. And first thing I checked was the shop, because let's just be honest, a lot of equipment in there. Who knows? So I go check in there. I run around the house looking, and then where our heater is, my wife's like, I smell something funny. I'm like, oh God, of course. So I run back upstairs and I slowly open up the door to see what's going on. The heater is so hot, I could barely put my hand on it. I shut off the HVAC system and we call house and maintenance and we call the fire department due to it being so hot. We had the kids and the wife and the dog and everyone else loaded into the truck. That way, they can get away from the house if something happened. I kind of stayed to monitor the area. Fire truck came. They went up there. They even said it was incredibly hot. Exact words was, holy shit, that's hot. So it kind of made me feel a little bit better. He goes, yeah, absolutely. It's a good thing you did call us just in case. And then as we went along, maintenance finally came and it was the blower. Either the bearings, obviously it kind of caused a lot of heat. About an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm sure Heather corrected me on the time. It was still hot to the point where the maintenance guy had issues removing it. So that gives you a kind of indication about how hot that was. But we had fumes and everything throughout the house. And it was just a long night. We were putting the kids to bed, so it was about 8:30. And by the time we got everything settled, it was about 11:30, 12 o'clock. We thought we were going to get a hotel for that night. And it was one of those things where like we got to see how our family would react to like emergency situation. And everyone did pretty good. My son kind of freaked out a little bit, which is kind of funny. But everyone was safe. No one got hurt. It just was, interesting because this week I'm actually in a class learning about fire codes and stuff like that. So it just rolls right into, another interesting week. They didn't remove the heater. They removed the blower. The blower failed and the bearings overheated, I'm guessing, to the point where the outside of the heater was piping hot, not cherry hot, but to the touch, you had to remove your hand instantly or you get burnt. So it was interesting. It was an interesting Saturday night. I spent most Saturday with my family, and then Sunday I got to go in the shop and I got to knock out a few projects. So I knocked out some snowflakes from a fellow maker, sent those out to him. You probably saw a reel if you're on Instagram. Those were fun to make. They're made with maple. He picked the designs. I just trusted the laser to cut them out for me. Did pretty well too. A little higher settings than I'm used to because I haven't aligned my laser since I got here. And I see Nap eyeing me now. That is my own fault. If I aligned it, I could have done less settings. I usually don't go that high with the laser. It wasn't that high, much higher. It was like 55%. But that's pretty high for what I use. But I'm going through 3/8 of maple, and it cut out no problems at all. I had to sand one a little bit to get the cut through, but it was just because it was just a tad thicker in that particular area. But yeah, I got those sent out using Shippo, and then I got to ship out another project to the military working dog. My family, not my family, but quote unquote family in Jersey. I've been working with those guys for a long time, so I'm pretty excited to start that relationship back up and be able to provide projects for them. Because for me that means a lot. They're coming to me from a different state now. They have to worry about shipping. They have to worry about shipping time, and they're still willing to do that to work with me. So I'm willing to work with them too, with the price and try to get them something that's reasonable. I am behind on one of the projects. It was due, but after getting sick, I reached out and I let them know. They said, fine, just, send it when you can. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to go about doing it. It was going to be acrylic, paint, or vinyl decal. And I kind of settled on the laser. I don't know why I never really think of this, but I can use the laser to produce the design and just paint in the design with. I just don't know why I never really thought of that. I saw it on another project and I'm like, that's an easy kill. I can go ahead and do that for this project. It would look good and be kind of what they were looking for anyway. I'm always looking for different ways to do stuff like that because intricate designs of logos or crests sometimes are a pain to paint. So, I might be looking at some different things to make it easier in the shop and get those things out sooner. Once I get that project out, I potentially might have a really large project coming down the pipe. I have a retirement chest I'm talking over with a fellow maker. Works knives, and he wants me to do it for a chest for him. The only problem is he reached out just before I left McGuire. And then he just reached out again, and his retirement is next month. So I got to decide if I'm going to put that much pressure on myself to get it complete, or I'm going to, have to pass it up. I really want to do this because he really wants like all the specialty woods. You know what I'm saying? Like the finest kind of walnut and maple and that sounds like snootish, but that sounds amazing to me. Working with the best caliber types of wood out there. Someone that basically already knows the price and realizes what they're going to be paying for. Those might work and they want it. Like it's going to be a hard no if I do end up with that. I don't think I will. I think I'm going to try to take this one on and then just kind of push a bunch of anything else out because I really want to work that craft a little bit better. The first one was a pain because I waited so long. The client waited so long to give me the stuff, so it was really hard to incorporate all the stuff I needed to.
What are the varieties of wood you get in your area? So real quick, that's actually a really good question, right? So Josh, what varieties do you get? And maybe I get some different stuff because depending on where you are, things are scarce. What are the most common for you in Illinois?
Hard and softwood. If I actually came out and told you a particular species, I'd be lying to you because I don't know. The place that I am going currently has everything and they can order everything. So I haven't come across a wood supplier yet that has trouble getting, the walnut, maple, Baduke, ebony, like all those types of specialty woods. I haven't learned much about the fauna around here, as far as trees and stuff like that. And it's kind of been because I've been so incorporated in the family and the work, and then obviously the podcast and making. But I'll get back to you on that. That's actually I should probably look that up and kind of get more acquainted with what's around me. But I'm also in Illinois, and they have trees here, but it's a lot of open space too. I know they definitely have oak. They have oak here, walnut, and what have I seen? Pine's everywhere. That's what I've kind of seen around me. Maple, obviously.
Yeah.
But
so I'm looking at the chat here, right? So
yep.
Sandra is talking about monkey tree. I've never heard of that. I looked up a couple of these. There's two of them, right? So I saw the maple, black walnut, fir, pine, all things I'm familiar with, but arbutus and monkey tree. I looked both those up, right? I've never heard of those. So that's pretty neat because I'm thinking I'm kind of a wood snob. I know a lot of different species of wood, but then again, I've only been to a couple places in the United States, and I only started making a lot in Texas. So I can say that as far as what I've dealt with, overall in North Dakota, I can find oak, walnut, and I can find American and foreign walnut because they ship it in, right? I got maple, paduk, or paddock, or whatever you want to call it. Some people, I don't know. You got Osage, or also better known, I think, is yellow heart. I'm pretty sure I think they're relatively the same. Similar in color. We'll go with that. Okay, maybe grain structure. Purple heart, I've seen that not here, like actual tree, but that's what I can get here. See what else. I think I said maple, but maple. Cherry is one of my favorite woods to work with, and I see a lot of that here. Oak, I hate working with it, but I see a lot of it here as well, and it's actually a popular wood to use just because it's cheaper and I can stain it any color and make it look beautiful. But those are the main woods I've worked with here in North Dakota. Now, when I was in Texas, a little different. Arbutus. Okay. That's how you say that. Interesting. He says it's a super hardwood. So it's probably really high in the Jenkins scale. It's probably relatively close to, what is it called? Oh, man. It's a Brazilian cherry. Oh, man. I just lost it. It starts with a J.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I know, right? It's you're like, man, I've used it. I don't remember what it's called. But I've used bloodwood. I've used zebra wood before. I have not messed with ebony yet. I think that's cool. Jatoba, that's what it is. Jatoba is hard wood. I've worked with that as well. It's really good for cutting boards, by the way. What else have I used? Oh, I've used ash, a nice piece of ash. There was an episode about that.
I kind of like ash. I hate ash, nice. But I love ash.
I like it, but I hate it because it's kind of like white oak where it chips out, like it splinters a little bit. And then I've used beech wood, which is really nice as well. Very nice, tight-grained wood. It smells terrible, though. What a wood that smells really good when you cut is bloodwood. It smells really sweet. I actually didn't anticipate that. Zebra wood smells terrible when you cut it. Purple heart's not much better.
But I love the look of zebra wood. I don't know what it is, but I've actually never got to use zebra wood. I bought a chunk of it just so I could use it. But I just love the look and the structure of that.
Dude, Todd was like, last time I bought walnut, it was $30 per board foot. And I'm over here complaining about what I got. It's like half the cost here. In North Dakota, I would legitimately, man, I'll tell you what, Todd, if you just need small sizes, I'll send you some. It's probably cheaper me sending to you internationally than if you're buying it in Australia at that price. Holy criminy. No, Heather, you did not. We're going to do it halfway through the episode. And then holly would, so Jason says holly. That wood right there, I'm going to tell you something.
Christmas.
So I really want to get Hollywood, right? I want to get holly because it's white, very, very white, naturally. And I would love to use that and make a flag. with it. Holly and bloodwood is a flag I really want to make. Holly is hard to find, and you have to be where it's got to be local, right?
Yeah.
You got to find it where it's where it grows a lot. But let's see, like oh my Lord, have mercy, $60 for. I hope that's not walnut. You said was it? I can't say that. I'm gonna butcher that just like I did the other one. But yeah, so local wood stuff though, we talked about those. We get the most common stuff, okay? And obviously, depending on where you're at, is going to dictate how much it's going to cost. Like for me, it's $19 a board foot for walnut. Josh, what is it for you? Like 10, 11?
Yeah, it's fairly cheap. I have the listing around here somewhere. To be honest, I haven't really bought much wood since I've been here. I've been using what I came with.
I sold all mine before I came. I didn't have nowhere to put it. Teak. Oh, teak is nice. Now you don't really find teak too much in like the hardwood stores. Now, if you look at a lot of the cutting board, like hobbyist forums and whatnot, you'll see like the buy teak cutting boards that are like super cheap, and then you wonder how people sell cutting boards on the market, like when they're custom. But teak is really nice as well. It looks nice.
Have you ever heard of the pawpaw tree?
No.
It's the only native fruit-bearing tree to the Americas.
Really?
Yeah. Very hard to get into markets and stuff because of bruising. But apparently that is here. Black walnut, river birch, hornbeam. I don't know what that is.
Let's just make up names for wood and put it out there, right?
Shag
birch is
hickory.
Really nice. Oh, hickory. Hickory's nice too. I do like hickory. That smells good, especially when you smoke hickory. Mesquite wood. I've used that before too. Dogwood smells nasty. Cottonwood's really nice too, but that smells terrible when you're milling it.
I didn't know this was a thing. Slippery elm.
How about the Joshua tree? Is that a thing you can build with? Puns.
Who said that?
Puns. That was Rick and Sandra.
Wow.
That's
shots
funny.
fired. Yeah, they have a whole bunch of stuff here, obviously. They have the American bladdernut. There's a couple of trees here I am not familiar with. The black willow, black oak, white oak.
Black oak. What does that look like?
I don't know.
I want to look that up on Google while we're talking here. But black oak, I've heard of white. I've heard of red. That was black oak. What does it look like milled, though?
Some of these are, I guess, shrub trees. Anyway, regardless.
Oh, okay.
That is some of the stuff that's here. Do I need to look that up too?
Black oak is okay. So you got white oak, which is relatively yellow, maybe olive-ish color.
Yeah.
Red oak is obviously got the red. It's kind of light. Black oak is more of like it's like a very light. It's a darker brown, not walnut dark, but it's nice.
I might like oak again.
Oh, smoking cherry. Yeah, apple and cherry wood. Man, I'll tell you what. I will throw some. Funny thing. I actually take cherry shavings and stuff when I'm smoking like meat and all that because it's milled wood. It's kiln dried. They literally chop that stuff up to smoke it. I'll take like my cherry shavings from raw lumber that I've milled. I'll throw it in the smoker and I'll use that. It's like, why buy chips when I'm making them in my shop? And
I used to do that with my other smoker. This one uses pellets, but it was a good way to get rid of offcuts and whatnot. And then my neighbor used to smoke meat too, so he'd come over once in a while and give him some. Try to reuse all those offcuts.
But yeah, so very good question, by the way. Like, I didn't think I knew that much about wood or what I've used. Thinking about it out loud, though, I've used a lot of species of wood, and I have my favorites. Okay, we've talked about it before. Like cherry is one of my favorite because it's kind of like the universal. Like you can make a good, nice plaque, a nice shadow box. You can make really anything out of cherry, and it'll look nice. Especially if you get that curly cherry, maybe some quilted. Man, let me tell you, I had an eye for that stuff in Texas. I haven't found none of that here in North Dakota. I think it's going to be like a rock and a hard place trying to find that stuff. But cherry is beautiful. I love the cherry walnut mixture. I made a lot of stuff recently with it. So very good talk about the woods here. Josh, did you have anything else going on in the shop, man? Because we're coming up on 25 minutes, and I want to be able to make sure we're going to get our giveaway going on here.
Yeah, I can kind of, I'll wrap that up. But long story short, the long short of it, however you want to say it. So interesting weekend. I got some stuff done on, was it Sunday? I got to etch a cutting board for a coworker. Let's see. I have some other stuff I'm working as well. Getting in the shop, making the time for that. I feel healthy enough. I can get in there. Obviously, I still got a cough, but we're going to work with that. I don't feel like I'm going to, I can get up and actually do stuff. So I'm actually getting out there, doing things actively. I'll be posting a little bit more. I'm starting to get the bite again to get out there and the itch, whatever you want to call it, to get out there and do stuff. It's just one of those things where finding that balance is still kind of difficult because it's never ending. Things always pop up. Heather and I were talking about that today, where it's just like one thing after another. We just couldn't get ahead today for whatever reason. So it is what it is, and we're rolling with it. And hopefully this next year we're kind of getting more of the flow of things and whatnot. We're trying to get our little one more interested in the sports and stuff like that. So she's in like a little sports program. Our son's in a sports program. Saturdays are pretty much, that's what that is, as they get to go through the practices. And then Tuesdays is my oldest. So that's a busy day as is, and add that in there. But I'm just happy to get in the shop. I got the shop pretty set up, and I almost forgot to talk about this, and I want to kick myself in the butt. I am off easel officially. I had to subscribe to one more month to pull my files down because of the way they have that wrapped up. If you did something in Pro in a certain way, they kind of like lock you out of it. So I had to pay $25 to go get all my files. I did that today. I'm nervous because I had everything set in there, where if I had a job, I could just go in there and, just kind of operate. I'm learning a new program called CNCJ. That's my sender. And then I'll be using Vetric as my, primary design feature. But I'm in good hands between the Nap, Daniel, and a multitude of other people. I am confident I can get up and running fairly quickly. I've already kind of played around with it. I haven't pushed play yet on anything, because I've been just trying to figure out different things, like how is it going to move if I do this? How is it reading my controller properly? Stuff like that. So if you have any experience in CNCJ and you want to reach out and, answer some questions or, give me a hand, I'd appreciate it. That way I can get out there and help other people too.
You already know I'm going to help you with Vetric, buddy.
Yeah. That's weird. Vetric is a program I haven't used a lot, but I've seen other people and been around other people using it to enough where I can take a design in there and kind of get my way into it. The biggest mystery for me is the CCJ, because my designer and sender was easel. I never had to use a secondary program to send any kind of coding to my machine. So that is a kind of like a new aspect to my CNCing. And it will be a learning curve, and I completely understand that. And there's features in there that I probably won't use right away. But basically, I just got to get an old bit in my spindle, and I got to go carve myself a circle or a square. And then once I figure that out and does what I want, cut something out, and then try a design and just kind of move forward like that. Start small, work my way up, and I could use some scrap for that. But a lot of things going on in the shop. Hopefully I'll have more shop talk, that's fulfilling coming out here shortly. Some like those projects I talked about, 3D printing and all that. But yeah, man, I won't take up too much time because I do believe we have something to give away here soon.
We do. And real quick, because Sandra was able to get into the live, I had to go ahead and get her the link because Patreon was being a little weird. So I got her a link. She's in the live now. Yep. All right. So how's this going to work, right? So right at the beginning of the episode, we talked about Workbench Con ticket. It's on the chopping block, right? If you can make Workbench Con, awesome. We'll make sure you get your ticket. We'll get all your information and make sure you get what you won. But if you can't make Workbench Con, right, and you have a place in your area that you like to frequent as far as woodworking tools, woodworking pieces of wood, whether it be woodcraft, rockwood, or any of those things, we will give you a $500 gift card instead of the Workbench Con ticket. All right, and then let's see, spindle or router. We will get to that after. What in the heck is that? Right after we do the giveaway here. What is that? Oh, come on, man. I didn't order pizza this time. There was an episode where I ordered pizza. I was super excited. Didn't get the pizza. Heather ordered that pizza, didn't she? Heather, how dare you? You're supposed to order me some and send it to my house. Josh,
she was like, it's outside, on the ground, getting cold.
So everyone in here that's watching is a patron. You will get the 2 entries, and no, you don't win pizza. I don't want pizza. I'm so hungry.
Pizza!
But, okay, so real quick, for those new into the old chat here, right? So this picker wheel is a little different. There's some funny things in it, some connotations, maybe some jokes. I will read them off.
I don't know any of these.
They're funny. As a matter of fact, Jason might laugh at a couple. Stan might laugh at them. Actually, everyone that's been listening may or may not laugh at these. I came up with this as I was going, so I was like, the spin again was kind of boring. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read off what all the things are here. So we got Todd Cox, right? Maker from Down Under. All right, so that's on there. And then we got Spin Again. Are you kidding me? And then just Todd Cox. And then Sandra McAfee from Elkwood. And then we got Spin Again. Not again. And Sandra again. I'm going to shuffle these, right? I put, how does this thing work? And then Stan, you are old. Patron Uncut, ? Stan, I shot your truck. If only you were good at spinning the wheel. Jason from RCH, and then Be Better. So close, you got to be quicker. And then Jason, our C hair is a measurement. And I put Nap shot his truck. And why get a deer when you can get a ram? All right, so those are the spots on the old deal here. And we're going to go ahead and get ready to spin. I guess Maker's got to eat, right? So White Castle, I love White Castle's freaking crave case, delectable little burgers and square buns with onions and cheese. Whoo! Man, I miss White Castle.
Yes,
Michigan.
Jason.
All right.
You can get a $500 gift card, but you have to spend it all at the same time.
Yeah, right. I got to see this mountain of White Castles. All right. So the wheel is now up. All right. So there's no more from here. Patrons that are watching, awesome. I know it's in and out on the participants, but if you see your name come up on here, you got to say, here, I win. Yay. Okay. And then we'll figure out if you want the ticket or if you want the $500 gift card. Okay. Because we support not only our Continental unit, U.S. folks, but we also support all of our international entrants as well. All right. So here we go for the Workbench Con ticket. What?
Hold on. Patreons, give us a number. We'll shuffle it that many times.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Give me a number. We'll shuffle.
Come on. The first number that pops up.
Oh, hell yeah, Heather. That's happening. The day I come back, I just want a crave case.
Yeah, so we're going to have to poop the entire time.
Yeah. Okay, if I can eat it all at one time,
we got a 5.
No. 5. All right, here we go. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so we got it shuffled. And here we go.
Hope I win.
Spin again, wins again. All right, here we go. And 3, 2, and actually no. Elkwood will shuffle it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Victor's
6.
here. You got him in there, right?
Oh shit, Victor. You, sir.
If you haven't said anything, say something now.
Victor. The genius, the mastermind. And then, hang on, I gotta add them up here too.
Do a quick look at everybody, make sure we got everybody. Don't want to miss anyone.
All right. And we're gonna shuffle again with the 6 from Elkwood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here we go.
See me rolling, hitting.
I guess I got to be better. All right, and then we got a 7 in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is fun. And here we go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Who's gonna win the ticket or the gift card? No way.
Oh, Victor!
Victor, we love you! You win either the Workbench Con ticket or the $500 gift card to your place of choosing. And you got to go ahead and let us know what you want, Victor. So, talk about coming in at the last second, man. And then shuffling it 3 times, bro. And then you win. Congratulations, Victor, on your ticket and or gift card, depending on what you want. And thank you, patrons, for playing. Please stay for the rest of the episode, though, because we got to talk about spindles or routers. Because Sandra asked, spindle versus router. Spindle. I can't even front because, okay, everyone knows the whine, okay? The whine of a router. When I first started with a router, okay, I was on a Shirk XXL, and that exact noise right there was what annoyed the ever-living hell out of me. Thank you, Sandra. Awesome. Thank you very much for joining us, and please stay. So the router was cool for a while. It depends on the router you get, right? So there's a bunch of them that are a little loud, a little annoying. The Makita router happened to be the quietest router that I'd ever used. But I can tell you the spindle is night and day difference as far as sound, as far as cut quality, and also keeping RPMs while cutting deep cuts. I will tell you, when I run my spindle, the only thing I hear is the dust collection, because dust collection, it's just loud in general, right? It's not really loud. It's just got a hum to it. And then you got the actual wood cutting. That's actually how I know if my revolutions are good or RPMs are good, and that I have a proper depth of cut, and that my feeds are good, okay, or feeds and speeds. If I hear a nice clean sound, like it's more of like a whine rather than a screech, I know that I've hit it. I've hit the butter, okay, and that's why you hit the butter. You know,
that might be this episode's.
Yeah,
hit the butter.
I hit the butter. Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but it just kind of came out.
I like it.
But that also goes with routers. But the thing is with routers is they still have that really loud, because they're brush or even brushless. They're very annoying. And honestly, I had to wear hearing protection for the longest time, because listening to a router in the shop, especially when you're in a garage type shop, it's kind of annoying. And then you want to work in a place where you're not annoyed by the sounds of your machines. So I got the spindle from Well, actually, I'll rewind. I got a spindle from Amazon, and that was actually at the request of PW and CNC. So when I first met Daniel, okay, would butter make a noise? Well, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, unless it's popping in the microwave when you're making melted butter for popcorn. Yes, I'm a fat kid. Leave me alone.
No, well, popcorn.
But yeah, so Daniel, he actually, before he started producing his spindle kits, we actually kind of beta tested like an actual kit. It was off of Amazon. It was the I'm gonna say Honyang or Huangyang or however you say that. It was that spindle kit, okay. And I used that for a while. We got everything set up. We got it to work to where I had to manually control it, because we hadn't gotten to the point of automatic spindle control in those things. Ooh. And then eventually, Daniel was like, you know what? This is a great idea. Okay. So he started producing, after he figured out a production model, producing his spindle kits. He started really engineering the settings for the VFD. He figured out what all he needed to make the spindle kits last a very long time. He put all sorts of things into this. And to where it's at now, it started at just an Amazon order to what you see now. And I can tell you that the spindles will last longer as long as you take care of them, okay? Because there's things you got to do, like warm-ups and, all those things before you run that thing at full throttle. knowing a little bit about depth of cut, what your machine can handle. If you have a Shipoko that's driven by belts, you may not be able to run it quite as hard as maybe like I use a 150 currently, which doesn't have belts, and I can drive that thing at, 1/4 inch depth of cut and be just fine.
That's a weird flex.
Yeah, I know, right? And you got Josh's X-Carve, which, mind you, Josh has actually pushed that X-Carve to do some crazy things. And that's because of the advantages of a spindle. It keeps its revolutions per minute, no matter the depth of cut.
I agree with you, but I wouldn't push it as far as I have without Cody.
Yeah.
And his advice and his bits, because like I wouldn't have done that with any other bits and any other spindle. Between those two, I was able to do that.
But yeah, so there's a lot of factors that go into it. But for me, it's going to be spindle hands down, just because routers are annoying. And I've heard of people blowing their routers up not even 6-7 months into using them because they do long carves and those things. Spindles are meant to run on hours on end as long as you take care of them properly. Josh, I'm sure I hit everything or most of everything. Do you have anything to add, any caveats why you would choose a spindle over a router?
They look prettier.
They do, though. They're so nice.
Okay, so
slick.
You hit pretty much everything I would hit on. The biggest thing is, I know personally when I bought a CNC, it was one of those things I never thought I would buy. To be full disclosure, I don't know if I said this before, probably have, but my wife actually bought the CNC. I was playing the chicken in the cart thing where I put it in the cart, delete the cart, put it in the cart, delete the cart, and then build the cart, delete the cart. And then my wife actually pushed the button to send the order. So being able to get a CNC right off the bat like that was first thing first was amazing. And then having the opportunity to have a machine and upgrade it to a better caliber machine that makes my life much easier, makes my products better, and time management much better, was a game changer. And that was because of the spindle. And plus, you got to think of you're in the shop, you're hearing all that noise. You hit on noise a little bit, but better for your health. I mean, I can have a conversation when that spindle's going. The only noise you're hearing is really when the spindle hits the material and the bit's taken away material. And if you, depending on what bit and what you're doing, you still couldn't talk. V carving is fairly quiet. But, and depending what kind of bits too, quality bits make a difference. But yeah, there's definitely no downside going spindle. Just make sure your machine can handle it. And you go slow when you try to push it. I took a very long time to push my machine to where I am now. And I'm actually going to dial that back because now I'm using programs that I'm not familiar with, and I'm going to dial it back to what is recommended. And we'll see how that goes. I feel like I have a new machine right now. It has nothing to do with X-Carve anymore, except for the skeleton, which even that.
So like Josh was saying, he's got like the skeleton of an X-Carve. So Sandra asked, about what machines we have. I have the Winfinity. I have the Elite upgrade on the way. And then Josh has the Franken X-Carve is what I call it because he rebuilt the thing with a bunch of awesome upgrades between risers, Z-axis upgrade, his spindle,
stabilizers.
All the things. Yep. Everything to make his X-Carve as robust as possible. And then we got Jason asking if you can rebuild a spindle. Actually, the answer to that is yes. Mm-hmm. So if you happen to have a bearing go out, you can actually buy bearings for the spindle. Now, mind you need to have a little know-how. Okay, I'm not suggesting people go out and buy pieces to rebuild the spindle. However, if you do buy a spindle from, and I'm not, because Daniel's our sponsor, and I'm going to rep PW and CNC, but if you buy one from Daniel, he'll either A, help you fix it, or B, he'll probably replace it if it's an actual equipment issue, okay, which happens every once in a while, right? Because not everything can be perfect in the world. But then also looking at the next couple questions here, or comments and questions. So Sandra says she got the Ortur laser, deciding between the two and because of price. Honestly, laser first is awesome. You know why? Because laser, although like CNC has a lot of capabilities, the laser has even more. You can cut a square piece of wood and put a design on it, and you can do something with it. However, it is a little harder to, let's say, carve obscure shapes. You'd have to make jigs and do all sorts of crazy things with a jigsaw and all those things. But the laser can do a lot of really cool things. And I know Ortur, based on some videos I've seen, it's got a lot of capability. And then Todd mentions air cool versus water cool. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either. I see you can't go wrong with either because both work well. Okay.
Yes. The only thing, go ahead.
But I will say air cooled is relatively close to a router, other than it will last longer. Okay. Because I have an air cooled 2.2 110 variant on my rotary. And it's not as loud as a spindle or as a router, but it's got a little more noise to it. Okay. It'll get a little warmer. Spindles do operate better when they are warm, but not hot. Now, water cooled, they will last just probably a lot longer just because, well, they stay at the desired temperature that you set them to. And I think you can actually push them harder. And that's just in my experience. Josh, what do you got?
So I would say it depends on your climate. And then it also depends on what you're doing. So if you're doing really long carves, you can use air cooled, but obviously a water cooled spindle is going to perform better over a long period of time. If you're not into 3D carving or not doing carves like 18 hours, you can get away with air cooled, no problem. And it's going to be a little easier on your wallet. Performance wise, if you're doing, I don't know, let's say a 5-hour carve, they're going to perform fairly the same. It's just that for me personally, water cooled, I wanted to do long, extravagant 3D carvings, and that made sense for me. And when I say temperature, you got to be careful because obviously, depending on what fluids you use, they can freeze, and you got to kind of monitor that or utilize fluid such as like windshield washer fluid that's good to like -30, like I do, to ensure it doesn't freeze.
Yeah, see the whole freezing thing. Luckily, we've experimented with some things, and honestly, working with Daniel, he's been able to give me a couple good pointers. You can use antifreeze type properties with like liquid coolants and whatnot, but I have found that windshield wiper fluid that has that -30, -40, -50, what is it, variant, if you will, it works great. I'm in Minot, North Dakota, where it can get up to -40. Now, mind you, I have an awesome heater that I was able to acquire through Stan, because that's the business he works in, that keeps my shop at between 55 and 65 degrees, depending on when I have it set, because I have it programmed to keep my shop at certain temperatures during the week based on when I'm in there. But when I was icy cold, my spindle had no issue. But I did do a warm up program based on Daniel's recommendations, because again, spindles run better when they're warm. So if you run a warm up on your spindle, you're going to get a little more out of it. Let's see here, and then real quick. So you said that you have a lot of support with your laser in your community out there in Canada. Well, I like Josh. So Josh, his wife has bought his CNC because it was in and out of the shopping cart, right? Mine was in and out of the shopping cart on Black Friday while I was at my parents' house in Texas on Thanksgiving. And my buddy Ron was like, dude, just buy the damn thing because you can get your money back. And
do it now.
I bought it. And now, mind you, I had a lot of mistakes. That Shapoka, I'm surprised it didn't explode, to be honest with you, because a couple times I messed up. They were catastrophic failures. But I can tell you that if I could go back, I probably would get a laser first, because tumbler game is a good moneymaker. Ornaments out of 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch plywood's really nice, those sorts of things. But I can tell you, starting with the CNC was able to give me a primer into pretty much every program for really any machine you're going to use out there, because a lot of the stuff is relatively the same as far as setting your origins, your starting points, how you design, and all those things. So either way, you can't really lose. It's just a matter of cost and learning curve.
Well, I would even go further. It depends what type of woodworking you're doing. For people doing plaques and stuff like that, You can argue either way between CNC and laser. It really depends, because you can use a router to cut out your stuff and you don't need a CNC. If you're doing, trying to think of very particular means for the CNC, but failing to do so right now. But like if you're doing a shadow box facade, right, you can use a laser technically to cut that out, or a router, but it's very much easy to throw it on a CNC and just let it run. Stuff like that, 3D carving, stuff like in that realm. Great for CNC stuff, but I couldn't honestly sit here and say I wish I got a laser or CNC first. It is one of those things where it progressed in the way it did. I'm glad it did in that way. I use a laser more than my CNC now, but I still use my CNC. So it really depends on like how you go about your hobby business and how you're utilizing or creating projects. That's the problem. You got to sit down and really go over in your head and kind of see what kind of path you want to go down, because they're not cheap machines.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
When you buy one of these, your hobby starts to become more of an obsession / business, especially because you're trying to make stuff.
What I will say is this: it's your market. I mean, if people want a lot of like if you're a beginner, okay, we went down this road a while back in the episodes talking about the beginner shop. If you are somebody that is in an area that loves tumblers, loves like custom engraved things, like laser style, yeah, get your laser. Like that'll get you started, and buy the CNC after you make money with the laser. But if you're in a market where you're making outdoor signage or any of those things, with V carves and those, then you get a CNC and then you buy a laser after. It's really pick your poison based on your market. And also what you're comfortable with and what you can afford. I mean, those are really, some factors to consider.
Argument toward the laser: you don't have to buy any bits. You don't have to buy a lot of additional stuff. Your biggest expense there is your rotary, depending on which one you get.
And this is true.
So I go ahead and throw that out there. But I'm glad I have both. I'm very lucky to have both, and I'm lucky to have a wife that allowed me to pursue my hobby the way she has.
It's same, dude. I took over the garage twice now. But as
That's
far
still a sore
as
subject.
Yeah, I know, right? Real quick, I'm just gonna hit on my shop, and then we'll wrap up with some of the stuff that's going on in the chat real quick. So I'm gonna turn my planner. Oh, hey, look, there's the design from when I was making. What was this actually? I don't even remember what this was. I think it was the design for like a hat, something or another. I don't know. But so I have a few things in the works. I have the memorial dog plaque I'm gonna make. Cool. I talked to the person. I said, "Hey, I got a lot going on. Work's been busy." And like Josh and I had mentioned, I'm having my second son Asher on Friday. Woo-hoo. I'm welcoming. Sarah is having. So there's that. I'm actually not going to work Thursday because my in-laws will be here around 1400, and for our non-military folks, it's 2 p.m. So I got to make sure the house is clean. I can tell you that Sarah's super uncomfortable, so I'm going to make sure the house is perfect for everyone who shows up. And then we'll welcome Asher into the world Friday, and then I go back to work the following week. You may think, "Nah, you're crazy. Why are you doing that?" Well, I'm taking advantage of my in-laws and my family being in town to help take care of Asher with her, and so they can spend time, because I'll have all the time in the world with Asher, and I'm like, I'll have 6 weeks of uninterrupted time with Asher. It's going to be the 1st of February up until Workbench Con. But yeah, so I got that going on, and the chief was like, "Hey, cool, as long as you get done." Cool. So there's that, and then I got a hat stand to make. I got one of those plaques for the ammo folks that I made a while back. The people that received the plaques are actually ordering one for the guy who ordered the 9 for them. So I have one more of those to make. I'm going to make that sometime within either this weekend or next week. And then I have a very interesting custom shadow box to make for one of our previous guest hosts that was on the podcast, Andrew Clark from Metal Tuition. If you haven't followed him on Instagram or seen his metal work, he does a lot of cool stuff. So go ahead and give him a follow, give him a look, see. So making him his shadow box. And then I got another shadow box due in March for a Secure Forces member. I'm actually going to be getting all this done in February. So while the baby sleeps, and hopefully hopefully Asher's a good sleeper. That'd be great. Baby will sleep and I'll go do some stuff. Yeah, he looks at me like this is the second one. It ain't going to be that easy. He's probably right. So I got that. I'm finishing a stove topper, which I have over here. Oh, God, this is heavy. It's for my dad. It's for his stove. I got to fill that with black epoxy. I'm going to frame it in walnut, and then it'll sit on top of the stove. I sent out that whiskey glass, custom whiskey glass box, which I thought I did a really good job on. I did some two-tone on the inside. It'll be a post going up soon once the member gets it. And then got to mail some things out. Yeah, that's what I got going on in the shop. I do have some news as far as future. And Josh, I'm going to mention what might happen. So the podcast is doing really well based on what we've been doing, in our current locations. However, I've been afforded a rare opportunity to apply for a job in another location, and I could be leaving Minot sooner than later, which could result in a downtick in shop time and actually lack thereof. So I'm enjoying the time I have now here in Minot. I'll do everything I can, but because I've applied for this job, I might be closing my shop, but that won't be until sometime next year, 2024 to be exact. I know it's kind of a downer, but I figured it'd just be fair for you all to know about. We'll let you guys know in the future what's going to happen. Now, mind you, I say I clicked this job. I could get it. I could not. I might actually very well may not get this job because it's B-52 specific, which is the aircraft I'm currently on. And I've only got about a year and a half of experience on it. So I very well couldn't get this job, but I figure it's only fair to let you all know what is coming up. So with that being said, I want to get the job. Part of me doesn't want to get the job. But when someone says you should do this, my military career, unfortunately, does take precedence because that's what put food on the table. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So there's that. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep making my happy little heart out, and I'm going to be doing stuff until then. So outside of that, that's what's going on in the shop. That's what's going on in life between kid, possibly new job, and all those things. But I figured it was only fair to let you all know what's going on with that. But yeah, so I'm your new podcast buddy.
Oh, we created monsters. Anyway, we all hope you get the job, man. We hate to see you leave if that's the case, but sometimes we have to step back and do what is best for the family and yourselves. And like, no matter what, you always be part of the Sawdust Nation podcast family, just like AJ. And I do expect you to pop on if you get the job every once in a while, so you can tell us what's going on.
The podcast will not stop unless this job takes me to hell and back. Okay. But making will take a small pause, unfortunately, I think, because based on job description, I will be relatively busy. But outside of that, we'll see what happens.
So with that being said, I'm looking for applications for a couple of podcast hosts. No,
why not?
All kidding aside, if you do have interest on, being a part of the podcast in any which way, there's a goal in mind that I would like to achieve here in the next 5-10 years. And if you'd like to be part of the Sawdust Nation, reach out. I'm not saying you're going to become a host. I'm not saying anything online here, but we are trying to build a community that has the same beliefs and morals that we do. And by doing that, create that with a podcast. I'll leave it at that. You guys know what we stand for, kind of what we're trying to achieve here. And I feel like there's a lot of you out there. And you don't have to be on social media. We're not about numbers. I don't remember the last time I looked at our downloads. I hope they're doing good, but honestly, I'm here for you guys. I'm gonna look. Yeah, I'm kind of curious not to. But reach out to us. Don't the biggest thing we want is, communication with the listeners, because we want to know what you want to hear. We don't know. And the biggest thing you could do for us this Christmas season is reach out to us with a sound bit. I've said this before on the last couple podcasts, but it would take 10 seconds, 20 seconds to send us a sound bit. I want to slice that into an episode so we can do a Sawdust Nation podcast community episode with you guys saying, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you believe into, Happy Holidays. If you want to say what you're thankful for, your shop name, your personal name, we just want to hear your voices. And I would like to post that into our 2-part episode coming up here soon. So if you could do that for me in the next week, that'd be awesome. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Well, we're running kind of over. Nap, do you have any more in your shop you want to share?
No, man. I've covered everything in the shop, covered everything in life. I'll go ahead and start with my final words. So, hey, check it out. So I know, like I said, I dropped a little news here, but I still got a lot of time, okay? I will be here well into this. I think that's 200th episode, to be honest with you. I'll still be here. 200th episode, we got some plans. We'll release more as we get the details. But keep helping each other. Keep making this community stronger. I've gotten questions already from a couple people about light burn and all these things, and I'm going to oblige. I mean, just because I stop making does not mean I lose the knowledge, and I will always be there to help you all out. And as Josh said, send us a little video clip, send us a soundbite so we can go ahead and add you to our Christmas/holidays post, so that way we can go ahead and wish everyone that Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you call it. And we love you all. We really appreciate your support, and we'll just keep doing what we can to make the community stronger. Josh.
So as always, thank you for taking the time to listen to the 181st episode. We had a great time giving away some opportunities for people tonight. Hopefully you guys utilize those and make it the most of it. It can be game changing. You'd be surprised what you could do once you start communicating with some of the brands and people. So with that, keep listening. Get in your shop, go make some sawdust. And Sawdust Nation Podcast out.
Bye, guys. Thank you for the support. Congratulations to all the winners.
Sweet dreams are made of these.
Who am I to this hungry?